welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Crooked Kingdom, which is the second book in the Six of Crows duology, and oh my gosh guys, so good. We can't really go into a lot of details about this book without spoiling the first book if you haven't read that one, but I'm just going to tell you that Six of Crows was amazing, and Crooked Kingdom just took everything to a whole new level. I have a whole discussion / rant video on Six of Crows on my channel if you want to check that out. The way Crooked Kingdom is written is fantastic. It's smart and funny and witty and beautiful, with twists and turns in every corner. Leigh Bardugo is a genius in the sense that she crafts plots with such intricacy, and you will never see anything coming. The writing style is really engaging and it keeps drawing you in. It's really witty and smart, and I loved it. It was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was a 10 out of 5 stars for me. I highly recommend it to you guys if you haven't read it already. And yeah, that is all for the spoiler-free review part. Okay, I knew someone was gonna die in this book even before I started reading it, because the internet is a stupid place, and spoilers. So with the end of the last book, I thought it was going to be Inej, and I was so scared. I was like, no, somebody go rescue her, because oh my gosh, the queen cannot die. Well, it was not Inej, it was Matthias, and what happened to Matthias was really sad, in the sense that Matthias is not my favorite character. But let's just address it this way. So originally in the first book, I really didn't care for Matthias at all. Like, his character was so bland and rude and just hateful, so hateful. And I understand that it was that way because he was brought up that way, and that was like the things that were fed to him as he was growing up. But the character development he had in this book, so good. He became this open-minded person. Oh my gosh. But after saying all of that, he still wasn't on my like top 5 list, and that was okay. And then he was shot. At first I was like in complete denial. I was like, it's fine, he's not dying. And then when he did die, I was like, it's okay, I don't care. No, I cared a lot. The more I read about it, it really like started settling in, like the heaviness of the whole situation, like the sadness the whole ordeal had. If you really think about it, Matthias died after they pulled it off. After he finished his work and everything was over. He died when he was thinking happy thoughts about his future. And he died so quickly, and it really reminded me of how Sasha died in AOT. Wow, that was a spoiler right there, wasn't it? But you know what got to me? It was the fact that no one's ever going to know who killed him. No one's ever going to know why he was shot. And that's just so sad. They pulled off everything and he had to die. And if you talk about Nina now, girl, her power is changing because of Param. What was all that about? That was so good. Oh my gosh. I kind of guessed it originally when they were like recruiting other Grishas, and the bone pieces burst into the room to protect them and all that. Wow. The way they used it, that power, the changed power, so good. And undoubtedly, Violen shined in this book like he deserved to. Oh my gosh, in the first book he didn't really have a lot of role, and I still loved him. He was so kind and sweet. And in this book, the character development Violen had, oh my gosh, the way he went from being just a kind surprise kid to being witty and smart, and the way they showed him use his intellect to build his intricate bombs and everything, so good, so good. And for me, how he came to accepting his reading disability, I love the representation the book has when we talk about disabilities in general. When it comes to like addictions, reading disorders, and so many other things. It's just, Leigh Bardugo is a freaking genius. And then now that we're talking about Violen, can we just quickly address the scene where he goes to meet his mom? It's just, I really didn't think she would be alive. And oh my gosh. When she saw him, she couldn't recognize him. I actually forgot that he looks like Quay, and oh my gosh, it was when she saw him. There was this one scene where they're talking and Violen says, "What have they done to you?" And she looks at him and she says, "What have they done to you?" It's just, everything in me like broke at that point. I was just like, no, this is not happening. And how she kept painting portraits of him in remembrance, it's just so much to take in. Jesper, oh my gosh, He's always been in my top favorite characters list, and he's going to stay there. He's so funny and precious like that. Remember when Wylan created the Weevil to destroy the Silos, and Jesper said it should be named Wyvil? So good, so good. And I loved how Jesper addressed his addictions throughout this book, and at the end of the book he decided that he wanted to grow above it. Again, representation, amazing. And his relationship with his father, oh my gosh, I loved Fahey's character. It was an incredible character with everything about the fact that he was an elderly, loving person who had a stern look that would make everyone in the room look like children, like they actually are. I love that, to have a parent in the room. It's just amazing. Now if we talk about the two most amazing characters of the book, Kaz and Inej, I've been dying to talk about this. Leigh Bardugo is a genius in the sense that she has such a way with words. The simplicity of the words and yet the power they hold. It makes me realize that even in the future, if ever Six of Crows is made into a movie or a show, it's not going to be the same. It will never be the same. The scene I'm talking about is when Inej comes back from fighting Dunyasha and Kaz offers to redo her bandages. We know how he struggles. And a line there in that scene reads, "Two of the deadliest people the battle had to offer, and they could barely touch each other without both of them kneeling over." Wow, that's just so sad and impactful. The simplicity of the words and yet the power they hold. And I also love how their romance isn't emphasized. We know that they love each other, but not to a point that their personal burdens lessen because of each other. What I'm trying to say is they have their personal trauma that they have to go through before they be with each other, and that is such a powerful message, because you need support when you're dealing with trauma, but you have to do it alone. It's a personal journey, and that's just representations in this book. And one of the lines that represents this really well is when Inej says, "I'll fight for him, but I can't heal him, and I won't die trying." Oh my gosh, again, the power of words. Okay, now if you talk about the ending, it's only the most incredible ending to any story. It's like the Barrel's version of Strawberries and Marshmallows and a warm hug, especially when Queen Inej gets reunited with her family. That's all I ever asked for. It's just, every time I think about Inej's backstory, it breaks my heart to a million pieces. And now I can rest in peace. Overall, impeccable plotting, incredible writing, and unforeseeable plot twist. I loved every second of it. And that was my rant on Crooked Kingdom. Comment down below what your thoughts and feelings were when you finished this book. And if you have any recommendation on what should I read next, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.